Hi, my name's Frank Quinlan. I'm the CEO of Mental Health Australia, and I'm joined today by my friend and colleague Travis Gilbert, who's the Executive Officer at ACT Shelter, and we're here to talk about homelessness and mental health and in the lead up to the CEO Sleepout. So thanks for coming along, Travis.
No worries, Frank.
Obviously, the links between homelessness and mental illness will be known to some people, but I thought it would be great to have Travis, particularly from an ACT's perspective, I suppose, give us a few insights into the homelessness issue.
Yeah, sure. So in the ACT, we have a bit of a different situation to the rest of Australia, and partly it's a good thing. It's a result of historically the ACT government has funded more accommodation services than other states and territories. So more than half of the people experiencing homelessness on any given night in the ACT are in crisis services. But the sadder aspect of that is about 1/3 of those are children aged under 18. So that's quite a significant problem.
Sure, because I guess there's a bit of perception that the CEO Sleepout here is going to be a pretty cold one in the ACT. We've had temperatures at -5. But I guess what you're saying is a lot of the homelessness issue results from unstable and insecure housing, couch surfing, all those sorts of issues here.
And that can then lend itself to rough sleeping and then cycling back through crisis accommodation and maybe a mate's couch and then back again.
Sure. I guess we know too that in the mental health space, some of the issues around mental health are the thing that leads to homelessness. So people can suffer mental illness and then as a consequence of not managing the recovery process become homeless. But it's also true, is it not, that some of the circumstances of homelessness, the stresses, the strains and the insecurity can also then lead to people becoming mentally ill.
Yeah, sure. So there is evidence in both directions, as you said. So we know that there's a national strategy to prevent exits into homelessness from mental health facilities, and that's an excellent strategy, but I think we would agree that it still happens far too often.
Sure. We're hoping some of the programs that are afoot at the moment, like Partners in Recovery, will actually successfully reach out, I guess, to a lot of people who are homeless and experiencing mental health.
Absolutely.
Issues.
And there's also the outreach component of the NDIS that might reach people with quite significant and persistent mental illness who we tend to find in quite high numbers in people sleeping rough.
Sure.
So hopefully Partners in Recovery can connect that group to support services and housing programs like Street to Home, which is run by Vinnies in the ACT, which the Sleepout is aiming to raise quite a bit of money for.
Sure. So both Travis and I are going to engage in the Sleepout this year. I've got to be honest and say my logistical arrangements mean I'm doing it in Sydney, not in Canberra, so I'll be a little bit warmer than Travis, I think. But we just thought that today was a good opportunity to get together. As many of you know, Travis spent quite a bit of time with us as a policy officer here at Mental Health Australia, and we're really delighted to be trying to raise awareness, I guess, of the links between homelessness, insecure housing and mental health, and delighted that Vinnies will have the opportunity to raise some much needed funds. I think most of us are pretty convinced that Vinnies spend their money pretty directly on the sorts of issues that they tackle. They're a low administration organisation. They have a lot of volunteer effort, so the vast majority of the money that Vinnies raise really does go directly to solving some of these sorts of issues.
Indeed, and they're one of the largest service providers in the ACT, so certainly most of the money raised, I expect, goes directly to material aid and homelessness services across Australia, and I know that they do have a lot of volunteers because I know that my own grandmother volunteered for Vinnies for about 50 years. So
yeah, and I know that sometimes the notion of direct charity is despised a bit, and people are saying there should be systematic reform. But I have to say, the other night at about -5, as I walked through Civic and saw the Vinnies bus, which does the rounds in there, doling out warm soup and hot chocolate. It's pretty solid. I think it's pretty important service. Travis, thanks for coming in. It's good to see you again.
Likewise.
I look forward to perhaps sharing our reflections on the Sleepout once we've done it. Glad that I'll be a bit warmer than you are, to be honest.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, everyone, and look for the Vinnies Sleepout. It doesn't have to be Travis or I that you support, but there's lots of CEOs across the country that are doing it. It raises attention as much as it does money, but the money makes a difference too. Every donation counts. So perhaps find a CEO, perhaps find Travis or I on the web page and get behind this great initiative. Thanks.
Thank you.